I honestly don't know where to begin here. For those of you that don't know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will be getting a new cartoon series, I believe in September of 2018. And oh boy, judging by the art style of the show, something tells me that this is not going to be good. So first off, let me just get this out of the way. I'm a huge fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've never grew up on the 1987 cartoon, but I've seen enough of it, and it seems like a good show. And I'm going to own the DVD box set once it comes to the mail this Monday. The 2003 cartoon is my favorite and probably the best incarnation of the Turtles. And yeah, I'm sure some will disagree. Maybe it's just my nostalgia from watching it on the Fox box and Magoozy, but I can still look back at the show and it still holds up. The voice acting is great, the animation was amazing and looks better than some cartoons I've seen today, especially the new cartoon coming out this year. The show was well written and wasn't afraid to go down the dark route at times. However, I will say the show does go a bit downhill after the later seasons, but it's still worth watching. And we have the 2012 cartoon, which I thought I was going to hate at first, but it kind of grew on me and I surprisingly enjoyed it. And now we have this. Now look, I don't want to just prejudge the show before its initial release, but it's really not a good first impression to make judging by the first look of the show. I honestly don't know what it is about cartoon creators nowadays always going for the cheap animation route. I mean, just look at this. How can anybody think a show that's made to look like this is okay? Michelangelo and Donatello look fine, but why does Leonardo look so skinny and only have one sword? Why does Raphael look so buff? What, is it because he's the tough one of the group? Then we get to April O'Neil and she's black. I don't necessarily have a problem with her race change, especially knowing she was black in the comics. Yes, if you're a true Turtle fan, you would know in the Eastman and Laird Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic that she was black. As for those familiar with the original black and white marriage comics by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles creator Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, the ethnicity in the comics was rather ambiguous, but considering the character was based on Eastman's African-American girlfriend at the time and the coloring in certain issues, it seems that April O'Neil was intended to be black. However, I can't help but think this was all done as a forced PC move because of this diversity crap that the entertainment industry tries to shove down our throats. But other than that, it's really not much of a problem to me. Then we get to Master Splinter's design, and God almighty does this design look terrible. I hate this design. This to me does not feel like a wise, peaceful sensei. This looks like a dirty rat, and if I didn't know who this character was, I would think he'd be this grouchy, bitter old sensei. He looks like he's getting ready to beat one of the turtles' ass after waking him up from his sleep. Maybe it was Michelangelo. And some of the roles I've heard of these characters could be playing is where I've most likely lost all faith in this show. I've heard Leonardo might be a wisecracker and a party animal, which I think is stupid because Leonardo is supposed to be the leader of the group, and the jokester is Michelangelo's role. And Raphael, from what I've heard also, is going to be the leader of the group, which I think is even more stupid, because Raphael is mostly known for being the tough lone wolf of the group, and the leader's role is Leonardo. Whoever is doing this show probably doesn't understand the Turtles, or is at least trying to do stuff differently and thinking it's going to work. I don't know what this person's vision is of this cartoon, but it's sure getting a lot of backlash from fans. And I know there are goons out there that are going to defend this and say stuff like, "Oh, you're too old for cartoons. You're not the targeted demographic. Stop bitching about this." I've said this before and I'll say it again. Bad cartoons or kid shows don't deserve a pass just because they're made for kids. It's a damn insult to kids, and you're basically implying that it's okay for kids to have bad cartoons. And for those saying that you're too old to be bitching about cartoons, guys, we were once kids and we had cartoons that could appeal to both kids and adults. I'm just really sick and tired of these excuses. Now look, I'm not saying this is going to be bad. Who knows, this could probably surprise me. But looking at the art direction of this show, it looks like something that I don't have much faith in. How do I know? Look at certain reboots like Teen Titans Go, the Ben 10 reboot, and the Powerpuff Girls reboot, especially this Marvel's Spider-Man show. But anywho guys, what do you think about this? Do you hate this as much as I do? Do you think that I'm just being salty? Or do you not just care at all? Let me know down below. This is Red Wolf signing out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.